DETV News is powered by DART, Delaware's transit service. Moving forward.
State employees are set to receive significant pay raises, and Memorial Day weekend is upon us. What's happening across the first state? Those stories and much more straight ahead on tonight's edition of DETV News. While many will be soaking in the sunshine and warm weather on their favorite beach spot, several celebrations in Delaware remind folks of what this holiday weekend is really about. Hello and welcome to DETV News. I'm Matt Ford. Thanks for joining us this evening. State of Delaware employees can expect salary increases ranging from 3 to 9% following the approval of a pay package by the Joint Finance Committee in the General Assembly. Under the new plan, workers on the lower end of the pay scale will receive the higher percentage increase. That includes teachers, who will also see raises and additional compensation as well. The move comes as the state faces a need to fill multiple job vacancies and address competition from the private sector. The average salary of a state employee currently stands just above $52,000. The Joint Finance Committee is currently in the budget markup process and will present a budget for voting in both the House and Senate. Panel members also added millions of dollars and several new positions to Carney's recommended budget to reflect the passage of a marijuana legalization bill that the Democratic governor allowed to become law without his signature. The committee added more than $2.2 million and 34 new positions to Carney's recommended budget to begin implementing a state licensed and regulated marijuana industry. The funding includes money to staff a new office of the marijuana commissioner and add 14 new positions in the Division of Alcohol and Tobacco Enforcement and to administer and enforce Delaware's Marijuana Control Act. Lawmakers also approved funding for new marijuana tax auditors in the Department of Finance, new investigators in the Division of Public Health, as well as pesticides and weights and measures personnel in the Department of Agriculture.
As you know, Memorial Day marks the unofficial start of summer. Families are traveling, vacationing, and a great vacation spot is always the beach. DART's Route 305 Beach Connection travels from Wilmington all the way down to Rehoboth, stopping in Christiana Mall, Dover, the Lewis Transit Center. You can travel on the DART Beach Connection Route 305 for $10. $10 daily pass will have you traveling from Wilmington down to Rehoboth. Once you're in Rehoboth, you can enjoy the other beach bus services that runs throughout the summer. The service runs until September the 4th. You can be here with your family, have some great vacation time, and leave the driving to DART.
We want you to download the DART Transit app to plan your trip, look at all schedules and routes, and plan your trip coming down to the beach. And as well, we want you to utilize the DART Pass app for contactless mobile fare payment options. Download our apps today and plan your trip to the beach as soon as you can.
Public health officials are urging Delaware residents to take precautions against rabies, especially during the spring and summer months. The disease can be transmitted by community cats and wildlife, making outdoor activities riskier. Rabies is a recurring issue in Delaware's wildlife population. Common carriers of rabies in Delaware include community cats, bats, raccoons, skunks, and foxes. In the year 2018, Delaware experienced its first fatal human rabies case in 77 years. Rabies is nearly 100% fatal, but it can be prevented. It is primarily transmitted through bites from rabid animals, but non-bite exposures such as scratches or contact with infected saliva can also pose a risk. To ensure a safe and enjoyable summer, it is crucial to follow preventative measures and avoid rabies exposure including the following: watching and enjoying wildlife and unknown animals from a safe distance, wearing thick gloves if you're handling a dog or cat whose vaccination history is unknown, avoid hand-feeding wildlife. If a wild animal is on your property, be sure to keep a safe distance and let it wander away. And also tightly cap or put away garbage cans where animals cannot gain access to them. You'll also want to be sure your pet, dogs, cats, and ferrets are properly immunized against rabies. Remember, it's the law. For more information, the DPH Rabies Program, just contact the information on your screen. New this week, the City of Wilmington announced City Towing Services, or CTS for short, has secured a new one-year contract for vehicle towing within the city. The contract, effective through March of next year, addresses various aspects that the city says will better accommodate vehicle owners and modify towing requirements. Key provisions of the contract include the following: no towing or storage fees for average-sized vehicles under 8,000 pounds, towing and daily storage fees for oversized vehicles based on state-prescribed rates after the 8th day of storage, extended vehicle storage period of 60 days before CTS can initiate the legal process to claim title. CTS must notify the city's police chief and finance director 2 weeks in advance before initiating the legal process. Approval required from the city for CTS to hire subcontractors for towing beyond their capacity. CTS must also provide a copy of the certified notice sent to registered owners and lien holders within 72 hours of towing. Vehicle owners have 24/7 access to the storage lot without charge for retrieving their vehicle or personal belongings. Now, Wilmington Mayor Przicki says he believes that these changes will allow delinquent vehicle owners more time to pay fines and reclaim their vehicles. The contract aligns with the city's goal of improving parking enforcement by reducing ticket issuance and vehicle towing. Delaware Lieutenant Governor Bethany Hall Long joined NFL Hall of Famer Randy White, former Philadelphia Eagles Pro Bowler Jeremiah Trotter, and state education and law enforcement leaders at the Garfield Park Police Athletic League on Wednesday to unveil a statewide initiative aimed at improving the identification and location of missing children here in Delaware. The newly formed partnership between the state of Delaware and the National Child Identification Program will furnish 156,000 child ID kits to Delaware families starting this year.
Inside is for fingerprint and DNA information. DNA comes in a corner. There's height, weight, and a place for a picture and medical information on the back. It takes about 5 minutes for a parent to fill out.
These kits, already utilized in various states, will include an inkless fingerprint solution, DNA storage, a section for medical and dental records, and a space to provide details about a child's physical description. They serve as valuable resources for law enforcement in cases involving missing children. According to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, 58 children were reported missing from Delaware last year. The Delaware Department of Education will distribute the ID kits to K-12 students beginning yesterday, the day before the 40th annual National Missing Children's Day. Parents will receive prior notification about the distribution of these kits.
So our goal today, in partnership with United Auto Workers, IBW, Exelon, we are thrilled to announce that we're going to be sending 156,000 identification kits home with children come this summer and fall. And it's a volunteer program. Parents can opt, and they're very easy paper kits that parents can use for photo, fingerprint, and a quick DNA swab that they keep safely at home. And it's a very effective means. Last year, in 2022, we had 58 Delaware children go missing, and a third of those were in trafficking. So it's a serious subject, and it's great to be proactive and ahead. And it was fantastic today to have the National Football League here, and we also had our Blue Coats mascot and our Delaware State Police, Newcastle County, and other police officers to really express the importance of partnership. So Please be on the lookout for these identification kits. They are free and they will be available to all Delaware families.
And an anti-robocall multi-state task force has initiated a lawsuit against a company they say conducted billions of illegal robocalls, including here in Delaware. The massive multi-state lawsuit was filed against Avid Telecom, its owner and its vice president. Avid Telecom is reportedly a voice-over internet protocol service provider that sells data, phone numbers, and expertise on assisting its customers to make mass robocalls. It also allegedly facilitated in routing illegal robocalls all across the United States. The lawsuit alleges Avid Telecom sent or transmitted more than 24.5 billion calls nationwide from years 2018 to 2023, with 7.5 billion of those going to numbers that are on the Do Not Call National Registry. 27 million of those calls were to Delawareans, according to Delaware Attorney General Kathy Jennings. Avid Telecom allegedly sent or transmitted scam calls about Social Security Administration scams, Medicare scams, auto warranty scams, Amazon scams, DirecTV scams, credit card interest rate reduction scams, and employment scams. Almost 8.5 million of the calls appeared to be coming from government and law enforcement agencies, as well as private companies. That's according to the lawsuit. Delaware paramedics have launched a new initiative aimed at saving lives in critical situations. Paramedics in Newcastle and Sussex counties now carry units of blood which can be administered to trauma patients while they're being rushed to the hospital. By carrying O-positive blood that can be received by patients of any blood type, paramedics can provide an infusion to individuals suffering from traumatic injuries. This pre-hospital intervention can potentially make a life-saving difference. Upon arrival, an IV will be administered and the blood will be warmed as it is infused into the patient. While 1 unit of blood is typically less than what most trauma patients require, it can help prevent shock by starving off the depletion of blood that deprives organs of vital oxygen. While paramedics nationwide carry fluids to replace lost blood volume, these fluids lack the oxygen-carrying capabilities of blood. By potentially preventing tissue death, patients gain valuable time to reach trauma surgeons who will provide life-saving care. The Delaware Department of Safety and Homeland Security will hold registration opportunities for assault weapons, with 3 designated dates for obtaining certificates in each county. The 3 dates for people from each county to get a certificate are May 27th at Delaware State Police Troop 2, June 3rd at the Delaware State Police Troop 7 building in Sussex County, and on June 10th at the Delaware State Police Bureau of Identification in Kent County. According to the bill the legislature passed last year, the Department of Safety and Homeland Security won't keep copies of the certificate or other identifying information on people who get a certificate of possession. Despite that, the president of the Delaware State Sportsmanship Association said that people will still be reluctant to show up to these events because of the possibility they could be tracked. Concerns have been raised about the timing of the certification process and the lack of clarity regarding post-listed date procedures and consequences for not having a certificate after June 30th of this year. People must provide valid ID and proof of purchase before June 30th of last year to obtain a certificate. The Delaware State Sportsmen's Association has expressed disappointment and has filed a lawsuit against the state over the assault weapon ban. That brings us to those important Memorial Day weekend events we told you about at the top of the broadcast. Rehoboth Beach's Memorial Day starts with a wreath-laying ceremony honoring female veterans and first responders. That's Monday, May 29th at 9 a.m. at the Veterans Memorial at the Bandstand. At 2 p.m. on Monday, May 29th, the Kent County Vietnam veterans will host a ceremony at the Kent County Veterans Memorial Park at South Little Creek in Dover. Wilmington's annual Memorial Day Parade starts at 6 p.m. Tuesday, May 30th. The parade starts at Delaware and Woodlawn Avenues and proceeds down Delaware Avenue to the Soldiers and Sailors Monument on Broome Street, where a memorial observance will be held. The Delaware Commission of Veterans Affairs is holding its annual Memorial Day service. That starts 10:30 a.m. Tuesday, May 30th. It's at Veterans Memorial Park near Newcastle. And that's going to do it for tonight's edition of DETV News. Be sure to follow us all across your favorite social media platforms and take a look at our website. That's detvch.com. For tonight's news, have a happy and safe Memorial Day weekend. Lauren Wilson and I will see you back here next week.